But I always think that YouTube is like the library, so that if you put a video up on how to run a Facebook ad and somebody
Mm.
searches for that in 3 years' time, that video still has the potential to generate traffic for you because it's more like a library of video resources rather than just the fast hit.
It's always there waiting to be pulled up in front of people. So that's something that YouTube really does help you with your exposure. So your video could recommend other people's videos and other people's videos could recommend your video. It's a bit like the old librarian, isn't it? I know where I put that, and they go back to the other end of the library, but it's still there and it's still valid.
Welcome to the Social Media Takeaway. I'm your host, Louise McDonald, and this is the podcast for business people who want to know how to use social media to drive sales and leads for their business. If you enjoy the show, please make sure that you subscribe. And if there's anyone at all that you believe would enjoy this show or any other episode, make sure that you share it with them. I'd love to hear your feedback. Today, I am delighted to be joined by Anita Wong. Anita is a YouTube and video strategist who loves to help business owners step into YouTube and grow their leads and visibility through video. So you're very welcome to the show, Anita.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. You're the YouTube queen, we were calling you. So tell me, why do you love YouTube so much?
I think it's because it's a platform that I've grown with as my business has developed as well. And I think the way that it works with the connection with Google really is advantageous. So I think that's why it's one of my favorite platforms.
So for those maybe who didn't realize it, that Google owns YouTube, doesn't it?
Yeah, so basically Google bought YouTube and then they've become a sort of like twin connection. So what happens is that when you put a video onto YouTube, it becomes part of the Google sort of like space and it's indexed in the same way. They open their computer and they go to Chrome and Google, or they're all linked together, and you search for something. And if you've got a video and it's been set up properly and the SEO is, optimized and it's been indexed, then it will have the opportunity to be pulled over with those search results and actually placed quite high up on the first page without having to pay anything. So it is really, really advantageous.
Brilliant. I always say about YouTube that you're the experts. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. But my kind of idea of YouTube is that if you put a video up on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, it has a lifespan of potentially a few days, if you're lucky, if the algorithm keeps it alive. But I always think that YouTube is like the library, so that if you put a video up on how to run a Facebook ad and somebody
Mm.
searches for that in 3 years' time, that video still has the potential to generate traffic for you because it's more like a library of video resources rather than just the fast hit.
Yeah, it's true actually. What happens with YouTube is that obviously it works with the search terms. So if people are looking for something and you have your title and your description and the sort of like hashtags and tags in line with the content of the video, and that sort of makes up that search term, then the video is going to be pulled up. But it's never put on the back shelf like it is on other social platforms. It's always there waiting to be pulled up in front of people. And it's basically someone's obviously searched and then it's just been picked up and then it's just being shown to other people that are looking. And it's also being recommended by other people's videos. So that's something that YouTube really does help you with your exposure. So your video could recommend other people's videos and other people's videos could recommend your video. So that's what a way of people discovering your content. So it's always there waiting to be pulled up. It's a bit like the old librarian, isn't it? You say, "Oh, I need a book on such and such." Well, I know where I put that, and they go back to the other end of the library, but it's still there and it's still valid.
So yeah, it has a long shelf life. Okay, now I have this impression of YouTube that when you go onto YouTube, you have two types of business accounts. You have one with like hundreds and thousands of views and followers, and then you have others that are like tumbleweed. Why does this happen, Anita? And how can people get rid of the tumbleweed and start growing?
Okay, so there's a few factors. So what happens with most people is that they put a lot of time and effort into the recording of the video, which is important, but the optimization of the video is as equally important when it comes to YouTube. And sometimes a lot of the groundwork for how well the video will do actually happens before you even recorded it. So it's like doing a little bit of homework about the subject that you want to do. And then once you've sort of discovered what people are looking for on YouTube, you do something similar to that that's within what you want to talk about. And then you prepare the video in such a way that you're sort of like talking about the title and the content quite a lot during it. And then you do the optimization when you upload. And then, of course, you then go back and tweak as well. You don't just leave it there and never go back to it and revisit and see how it's getting on. There's always things that you can do to make a video perform better.
Okay, so even when you've like uploaded it, you've done all your optimization, you've done the title and the descriptions and the tags and all of that. And if it's not performing, you should go back and review it and even tweak them.
Yeah, so you can go back and review it and you can change the title a little bit. You can look at the performance. So, for example, one of the performance metrics that I look at is that how often are people actually clicking through to watch the video? So what YouTube usually does is it will share the video out to a lot of people, and then it will measure how many people click through to then watch the video. So what happens is that with the click through, there are a few things that might help you get more people to click through. So the thumbnail is one of those things. So a thumbnail is like the place card that you put over the front of the video. So it's a bit like the book cover. There's always like the best bits at the front sort of thing. So a thumbnail is a bit similar to that. You put a picture or an image of what you're talking about with a couple of keywords that will entice people to click through.
Okay, very good. So for somebody who hasn't been active on YouTube and they're already creating video, what do you say to them?
Okay, so what I would do is I would have a little look at your videos. So you could go into the YouTube account and look at the studio, and the studio gives you lots of different analytics around the videos. But what I would do as a basic start off is go in and just look at what videos are performing the best on your channel. Even if it's 10 views, 20 views, 30 views, whichever one is performing best, have a little look at that video and go, right, so if I were to look for this video, does the title say what you're talking about? And does the title say who the video is supposed to be going to? Then look, because some of your videos might not have thumbnails because you might not have been aware that a thumbnail even existed. So if the thumbnail is a bit sort of like blurry or it doesn't really show what the video is about, perhaps jump into Canva, for example. They have some really good templates on thumbnails, and go in and just refresh the thumbnail. And then I think those two, so the thumbnail, the title, and then tweak the description a little bit. Sometimes what happens is that when you put a video up, you just put the title up, and maybe if you do, you put the thumbnail up. But because YouTube is built on SEO, having a description of what the video has in it is really important. So having like a description of what you're saying, some of the key points, some of the sort of like keywords of what you've been speaking about, if you have that written in your description, then that adds to the way that the YouTube algorithm indexes the video.
Okay, brilliant. This is all really good information. I just know there's so many people that are listening in here that haven't even considered YouTube or haven't considered it in a while. And I want you to make people realize that maybe they need to pay attention.
Yeah, I think the success on YouTube comes with the awareness that people have of you. You don't want to be famous to everybody. If you want to put that word in, famous, you want to be seen by the audience that you want to reach. And that's a really good way of doing it on YouTube, because they actually get to meet you sort of like online, and they get to know you and they get to like you. I think that's one of the biggest success stories, is actually just raising that brand awareness. And I think you don't get that from some other social platforms because they are in like their own little capsule, if that makes sense. Whereas YouTube, because it's so open and because it's so connected with Google, it enables you to be seen in lots of other places. So most people might not be aware that you can actually do short form vertical video on YouTube as well as the long form. So if you're not sure about stepping into YouTube, one of the best ways to start getting used to being on YouTube is actually to do it with the short form video that you've already got. And that works really well. I think that comes to another point that is about it doesn't have to be that polished. Sometimes people get really fazed by the whole, everything has to be so perfect on YouTube. It really doesn't. I think the content speaks for itself. And I think as long as you've got a subject matter that people want to listen to and find out about, and you're uploading consistently, so you do have to be consistent. You just need a basic microphone, a camera and a light, and you're ready to roll.
Yeah, and I think it's a great point that if you are already creating that short form content like Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, TikTok, and even like the short form videos now on LinkedIn. So if you already have the content, why not repurpose it?
What happens with the short form video on other platforms is that because we consume it so quickly, you get that awareness because something will come up and you'll go, oh, but on those other short form platforms, you don't get the opportunity to really learn about somebody or about their products or about their services. Whereas on YouTube, you actually can get that same scroll feeling on YouTube where you can look at short form content. But the difference is that when something catches your eye on YouTube, you can just click the icon and go back to the channel page. And there you can have a mixture of longer videos, shorter videos. So there's a lot more flexibility on YouTube than most people think. And it's a great platform for lead generation because they don't penalize you for putting links in your descriptions on your longer videos.
Yeah, and another reason, I suppose, it's what we just mentioned at the very top of the show, is that you're going to increase your visibility on Google.
The great thing about the way you can use YouTube as a business tool is that they have so many different connections with Google. So you can make it a lot easier for people to become leads and also become part of your community.
Yeah, I would say, even though I will say to my clients, they say, how long should the video be? And I'm like, as short as possible, because with the attention spans being so short, you're better off to try and do something in 30 seconds than 3 minutes, I think.
Yeah. If you are sharing value, and as long as you can keep people engaged and they're waiting to get the answer, then encouraging a little bit longer is better. So if you're starting out on YouTube or you're just starting to get back into it, I would look at something around 5 minutes long as the maximum. Because what you want to do is you want to get people used to watching your content. And if you put in a 20-minute or 30-minute video, they don't really know you yet. I mean, most of my videos on my channel are between 5 and 10 minutes. They're not really longer than 10 minutes. And that's a perfectly good length video.
That's good. And I suppose like it does have an impact as well on like how YouTube kind of rates your video as the watch time, I imagine.
Yeah, it's another one of those factors that they rate in. They measure your click-through rate to see how many people are actually clicking through, and then they look at your retention. So if you're just starting out, putting videos up, like a short form up to 3 minutes is great. Or if you're going to do a horizontal one, even doing a horizontal landscape video up to 3 or 4 minutes long is great, because what you're doing is you're getting people to start watching you. You're getting people to start understanding a little bit more about you and your business and what you offer. And then you're keeping them on.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so future outlook, anything that you see coming yourself in 2025, Anita, for YouTube or for video in general?
Yeah, I just think that future outlook in 2025 is don't forget about YouTube, because it's here and it's actually adapting so that it becomes easier for people to use. So they're making the interface easier to use. They're changing, or they've already changed the way that your channel page looks so that you can actually just, as soon as you upload a video, it shows up on your homepage. They're introducing the community tab into your YouTube studio now, so you can actually interact with your audience much easier. Don't forget about YouTube, I think, is the thing I would say, because it's easy to get distracted by the sort of like short form platforms that are encouraging everyone to get onto. YouTube is not going anywhere. And if you start uploading to YouTube, your videos have got a much longer shelf life than the other short form channels.
Yeah, brilliant. I think that's really good advice. And if you're already creating video, you've already got the content there that you can put out there or you can tweak. Like, I think the best thing I heard you say today is that your long form video, 5 to 10 minutes. So it's not going to take up all your day. And another thing you said, which I think is really important, is don't wait for perfection. Don't wait for, oh, I can't possibly do that today. I need to, I need to get my hair done, or I need to just do it, because nobody else is going to be as critical about yourself except yourself. So people are more interested in what you can do for them and the information and that they're going to be learning from you. So Anita, how can people find you?
Well, you can look on my YouTube channel. It's Anita Wong, and all the links are there. Otherwise, my website is anitawong.co.uk, and reach out to me and we can have a free discovery call if you want some help, stepping into YouTube, or you've already got a channel and it's not really doing anything. I can have a little look at that for you.
Brilliant. And did you have a free guide for people here today as well? Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I've got a couple of training videos that show you how to repurpose your videos. And I've also got a PDF which sort of goes through some of the 10 top things that I would encourage you to do on your channel, from how to optimize, to how to create, and how to utilize your video afterwards. So those two are available on my website that you can have a little look and download.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for coming on and sharing all your advice about YouTube. And I suppose the message is, don't forget about it. It's a very strategic channel. And if you're already creating video content, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Just think YouTube all the time.
Brilliant. Thank you. That's it, everyone. That's another episode of the Social Media Takeaway. If you have some feedback, make sure that you tag us on social media. You'll find me under Sell on Social M, or on LinkedIn, you'll find me under Louise McDonald. I'd love to hear your feedback and what you thought about the show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. And if you know anyone who may be interested, be sure to share the show with them too. Thanks, everyone.